All right, welcome to GENXDC. This is the place where we talk about all things DC in the 70s and 80s. I am Spencer, and I'm joined by
Dan?
Dan. And today we are going to talk about toys of the 70s and 80s.
Yes, I love toys.
There are so many different ones we could choose from. I'm actually going to start off with one of my favorites that I got. I think it was Christmas 1978, maybe.
Right.
It was the Mattel football game.
Yes.
You remember this?
Okay.
And it had, let me get the noise for you so you can hear it.
Oh,
So it was basically one football guy against 5 other dots. And you could get 2 yards right away if you just went straight. But if you moved around, you could get more yards. You couldn't pass in this game.
okay.
But I just thought this was the most incredible, ingenious invention. I didn't think we'd ever have anything as great as this ever again. And I spent many days Redskin Cowboy games on here.
I had the Coleco version of that, which
Right. That came out around the same time, right?
Yeah, and that had the kick pass function.
Yes.
You could actually throw a pass, and it was so much. It was so cool to play, and you could play with another person. So
Right. Yep.
And then you're in, you'd pass it to your friend in the classroom, and then they'd pass it back to you, and then the teacher would confiscate it for 2 weeks, and then you'd not have so much fun back then. So much. Well, you got me thinking about toys. I love toys. Even I'm a big kid even now, but back early '70s, I got into the Evel Knievel scene.
Oh yes.
Evel Knievel, and they came out with this stunt bike.
Oh, I remember this. Yes.
Motorcycle had a shock-absorbing front end.
Mm-hmm.
Evel Knievel live action figure you could put on this thing, and you set up this little tower, and you and when you stop, rolling this thing, it would shoot out of there and jump a ramp and hit the curb and fly through the air, and it was so cool.
And for those that don't know, Evel Knievel was the big stunt guy in the 70s and 80s. Probably broke over 100 bones in his life. I think at one time he may have had, if not still has, the record for most broken bones in a human body.
What's crazy is I've seen a commercial on YouTube. Go check out YouTube with all it'll take you back in time. But I think Ideal was the company, I believe, that came out with. So their commercial that ran in the 70s shows Evel Knievel doing a jump. When he's coming down the ramp, it's one of the jumps that he actually tore himself up pretty badly. I'm like, how are you showing that in a commercial? Because it shows the bike hit the ramp. You can see his body kind of,
right.
That's not good. But it's in the commercial. Like,
yep.
Oh, it's definitely the same.
Hey, he made money off it.
Yeah, he did that toy. And they say those toys are worth a fortune now.
Oh, I'm sure. I see it occasionally on like eBay and things like that.
Oh, so much fun. Oh.
That was awesome. I remember another toy that I had so much fun with one Christmas morning, especially, was the Atari 2600, the original Atari.
Yes. Oh, Atari was so cool.
And, the original joystick and just playing different games. I had so much fun. Asteroids, Defender, Circus Atari. And, of course, I liked all the football and the basketball and all that stuff.
I love the golf. For me, the
golf was yours? Okay.
I got so good at it. I knew right where to put the golf club and then hit the button to hit the ball. It was like I knew how to do a lot of time on my hands. But, thinking of Atari, you remind me of the game Pong. That was the first thing that came out. We saw it at Sears at this time of year. It's Sears, I don't know, maybe mid-'70s.
In White Oak, that's where we went. Okay.
Downstairs of that Sears was toys. It was like, oh my, it was heaven. It was heaven. Toys. But I remember the Pong being there and everyone crowding around looking at this thing, and it was simple lights, and you hooked it up to your TV, and you had these paddles, these barred lights on there with and actually it was a round knob. What am I saying? It was a round knob, and you shot this light bing off of that one and bing off. It was like tennis on the TV screen, and that was like the big deal.
And if you're telling a millennial about what this is, I mean, this is basically like a PlayStation, but it only has one game, Pong.
Yes. And
it's a horrible graphics. It's just 2 sticks moving back and forth and the ball going.
Bing, bing.
But it was expensive. But it was the coolest thing, being able to play a game at home.
That was the start of it. So Atari and the later, what we have now, started in that Pong. That was the beginnings of the whole thing. And it took off pretty fast from there. Atari next, and then PlayStations, and it just took off.
Right, Atari went to 5,200 or something like that after that, and then
started building them up quick within 80s, you were like already getting in some pretty wild graphic games. But
Right.
you're talking that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking of the game Simon.
Oh yeah.
Simon was a memory game. It was a round, like spaceship looking device. It had
That's right.
4 bars on it that you could push. They were
Right. So you had red. What colors were they? Red, green,
red, blue, green, and
yellow.
yellow. I
I
believe
think yellow.
so. It would make a sound, and the
Doot, 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 and you go doot, doot, doot. Then it'll go doot, 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 and it'll keep getting faster.
it gets faster, and
Yeah.
when you hit the
My
wrong.
brain couldn't handle that.
After a while, I was like, oh man, I can't. And like you'd want to pitch it, like it would become a
Well, that's right. It becomes a flying saucer because it drives you crazy.
being off the wall. But it was definitely trying, and I seen some small versions of it now.
Uh-huh.
But it's still around. But that was a part of that computer era of
Right.
those electronic.
Well, speaking of computer errors, probably my all-time favorite toy, I would say, was the Commodore 64, which was a personal computer. I think it was the best-selling at that time, but I got it mainly for the games. I did learn to type really fast with the Commodore, but I mean, I remember staying up with my friend Richard late at night playing games like Spy versus Spy, Race and Destruction. But my all-time favorite game was Super Bowl Sunday. Literally, from 1988 to 1992, I ran a fantasy football league in my basement where I got the general manager's disc, and we would draft the players. So you would draft a player off the Redskins or the Cowboys, and you put them all on your team, and we would run a league. We would have stats and all that kind of stuff, and it was awesome. And this is, of course, way before Madden. This is before Madden, and it was a game where you would hit the button to tell it what to do. So we weren't using a joystick. We would say, run an off tackle play. The other person would say, okay, blitz my outside linebacker. So basically you were telling it what to do. But for some reason, it was just an incredible thing because we didn't have Madden yet.
And that was, again, the start of it all.
Right.
With all your coaching, that was a good start for you.
Oh, there's no question that. Yeah.
Plays and what have you.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go back into the 70s a little bit because I was always outside doing things. And
Yep.
I got a big wheel. It was like a big deal for me to get a big
We had them too. Yep.
My mom was like, those things are death traps. But my dad somehow was like, talked to him into letting me get one. And it was low. Those who don't know, it was low to the ground. It was a 3-wheeler. Had these little round back plastic wheels, hard plastic, and a big, thinner front wheel, thus the name Big Wheel.
Right.
And it had a little blue seat that would click on it. And you had this brake that would hit against that plastic one side of the wheel, and you could do these donuts in this thing.
Yeah, you do that spin move, you were cool.
It was cool. You could turn out the spin, and it was.
Yeah, I was driving a big wheel.
My brothers would get, especially my brother Rob, would get behind me with a broomstick and put it in one of the seat holes, and he would shove me down the street as fast as he could and let me go flying, and I grabbed the brake and go zing, 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 zing. So much.
So they had their own personal Evil Knievel at their house.
They enjoyed me getting banged up. I'd always get up and shake off. There was no crying playing with my brothers. You don't cry. No, I'm good. Knees scraped up, half my face bloody. No, I'm good. I'm fine. Let's do it again.
I tell you, this brings back just so many memories, just playing those games and just an incredible time. And again, it was very primitive compared to a lot of the things that we have now, but there was something to it. There was something, you used your imagination a little bit more than you would now. Nowadays, whatever you're playing, you're pretty much, you're really in a war when you're playing PlayStation. You had to use your imagination when you used the Commodore 64, the 2600 Atari, and all that.
I miss the days of everyone being outside playing. When the street lights came on,
you
were in the house. You needed to be home in the house.
Right. Well, we'd still stay out there a little bit longer with the light if there was a street light. We'd play it until we get yelled at.
Yeah, until they called you in. But it was outside playing together. It's just
that was incredible days.
Those kind of things. So it's like I miss that. I miss seeing the kids do that.
Right.
I hope that there's a revival when all this COVID stuff's done. That
I hope so.
Get outside and share that space again. And ladies, we didn't forget you.
No.
Especially we're guys. So, but My Little Pony. I know that was a big thing.
My sister had that as well as the Cabbage Patch. Remember the Cabbage Patch?
Yes. And then you had the little bake ovens.
Oh, yeah.
there.
And the thing is, I don't know if you're like this. I think all the guys wanted one because we wanted to eat.
We wanted to eat those.
Yeah, they were really good. Those little fudge brownie things.
Oh my goodness, yes. But and they stereotype things back then a little bit too.
Right. See, that's the thing. Back then, nowadays, you can be a chef. You could be a woman or a man. It doesn't matter. Back then, your friends would have been all over you. That's right. But you know what? We want to hear from you. We want to hear about your toys of the 70s and 80s, whatever it might be. Maybe a Light Bright or, any of the things. You remember Light Bright?
Connect 4, yeah.
Connect 4. I love that. Very sneaky, sis. Remember the commercial for that?
Yep.
So, we want to hear from you. Just comment below. Let us know what you'd like us to talk about in the future. I guess the next episode of GENXDC, let's talk about we're getting near Christmas movies.
I love that. Good idea.
From the 70s and 80s. I'm trying to think if the Brady Christmas movie was late 80s, early 90s. I think it might have been early 90s, so maybe I don't count that one, but that was one of my favorite, the very Brady Christmas.
I dug Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but I think that's a Thanksgiving.
So we need to think about our Christmas ones.
Christmas movies. So it'll be fun. Good. I look forward.
Absolutely. All right. We'll see you on the next edition.
Take care, everyone.